What's good, y'all? Today I'm attempting to go pick up another car. I don't know if you guys heard about what happened last time. I was headed down a little bit south of Cincinnati when the rear differential of my truck just decided to obliterate itself. Long story short, I got stuck in Ohio for a little bit, and thankfully my parents were able to come rescue me with their SUV. Shout out to Alex and Dan for helping me out and coming in clutch with a jack and cinder blocks to get the truck on the trailer because my truck was too big to fit on a U-Haul, and I was already towing U-Haul and didn't want to, make 2 trips to, go pick up a truck. So today I'm trying to go pick up a 2003 Volvo S60. It's a T5 with the manual transmission, which is kind of rare and kind of cool. Supposedly it just needs a clutch, and well, we'll see how that goes. Just like how the last car, that I passed on. Oh yeah, it just needs a clutch or whatever, and the whole car was in 1,000 pieces on the floor, and the car was still on jack stands, and the dude knew I was, planning on picking it up. So that was a fun video. Anyways, hopefully smooth sailing. Shout out to Caitlin at U-Haul for getting me the hookup. Keep her moving. All right, so we made it down to Ohio. Arrived on location where the cars are, and come to a nice surprise. It's like a small little, maybe Volvo hobbyist repair shop or something like that. So let me flip the camera around. Let's take a peek. S60 T5, the 5-speed. It's pretty clean body-wise. No major, dents or anything. Tires look decent. Interior looks pretty good. Probably could use, a good clean. But they also have a big collection of, there's another S60R, B70R, it's an S90, few 740s. So this is kind of like a cool little place they got going on. So hopefully get a better idea of what's going on when the dude shows up. Just, kind of your standard S60 T5. Interior's a little dirty. 1 or 2 pieces are cracked, but it's not too bad. Seats in fairly good shape. She's got 245 or 247 on it. Oops, locked, unlocked. So, it seems like they took pretty decent care of it. Sunroof still works. All the windows went up and down. All the door locks work. So, body's fairly clean. Just could use a good, wax, buff, and some trim darkener. So, should be a nice little project to get me going. All right, so mission was a success. Got the car, so now I'm waiting for Kyle to come back and help me load it, as the slave cylinder's dead. So that means it'll only start either in neutral or in gear, so you can't push in the clutch. It won't do anything. So that's about to be a little sketchy, loading it into the U-Haul, but that's what insurance is for, right? Always get the insurance.
Pop it out of gears. It doesn't pop out of gear very easily, so
I'll be ready with the brake and the key.
Yep. All right.
Here we go.
Yep.
So it's still in gear. Let me pop it out.
Okay.
Alright, she's out.
At the Ohio Title Agency. This is how Ohio titles work, as I'm learning. So, because they're non-reassigning, you have to. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to make that. That's not gonna work. Okay, so hold on. right, here we go. So here we go, after a long day driving. You can see it, I look tired. Yeah, we made it back. Here she is, sitting in the driveway. Probably gonna start diving into it in the next day or so. Just kidding. I'm about to dive into it right now. Pull the, probably the intake manifold, unbolt the exhaust, and then plan on starting to get the motor up and out to do the clutch and master and slave cylinder job. So, yeah, stay tuned. What is up? So here we are. Shout out to Kyle.
What up?
We're about to pull the motor, in process of pulling the motor. So that took all of yesterday to mostly undo everything. So we're having issues clearing the ABS controller. So Kyle's taken off the front motor mount completely, and that should give us enough to just scooter past and pull it up on and out. So yeah, let's go. Out, surprisingly did not break any ground straps this time, which proud of us. So now get to split the trans off the engine, so that splits right here. So it's probably 12 or so bolts, and that comes out. Pretty straightforward, but the real reason why I pulled the motor is to change the spark plugs. I needed a little bit more room, so now I can do that. Just kidding. But on another note, while it's out, I'm gonna do the timing belt because it's a lot easier when you got a little more room to work with to make sure your timing's set right. And then after playing with some of the pulleys, yeah, I need a new idler right there, but it could be worse. Yeah. Throw the clutch in. You can see I threw the new pressure plate, new disc, and then we got the alignment tool. Old one's sitting right there. And the old throwout bearing with integrated slave cylinder, which is toast. So I got a new one of those too. Got to put it in the transmission, and we should be good to go. See the, oh geez, what do you call it? The line for the new slave cylinder. So now this thing is going back into this thing. All right, with the late update, so the car is put together. I got a haircut. Shout out to Harry. So after throwing the trans in there, bleeding the clutch, adding more fluids, drove nice, but is making some weird sounds from the front left. So I forgot to tighten the hub nut all the way. So that came out while I was doing a test drive, and from there, the sound got a little bit worse, and so I was like, huh, interesting. So I took my motorcycle, found the nut. Actually, well, it's like a whole bolt nut. I'll show you right here. So that goes into the end of the axle right there. And after putting that in, it still made a bunch of weird kind of grinding, rumbling sound from up front. So I'm like, okay, so it's probably a wheel bearing. Great, got to take the whole hub and everything off again. So I got like 2 bolts left, but I'll show you. So here's the whole hub assembly. I don't know if you can hear this noise. Yeah, it should not be sounding like that. So thankfully it's a wheel bearing, not something else like a differential or a CV axle, which, you know, those are a little more expensive, not bad, but still a little more unfortunate. So wheel bearing, new one I got from Detroit Axle. Shout out to Max for hooking me up, and that cost me a total of $43. So got that picked up, and yeah, so I'm gonna unbolt this one, throw the new one in there, and then take it for a ride. So see ya. Wheel bearing and hub assembly. This one's definitely cashed out. So after a few whacks with the hammer, here's the old wheel bearing and hub assembly. It's easier just to replace the whole thing rather than to press just that bearing in. especially because like I don't have all the tools to do that. So this one is done. Take a junk. It's gonna get recycled though. And then here is the shiny new one. So here we go, unboxing of the Detroit Axle Volvo wheel bearing. Let's check it out. Whoops. Oh, yeah. She's real greasy. Oof, super smooth. So, yeah, so it's pretty easy. 4 bolts for this, 1 to put the the rotor back on, and then 2 to put the caliper back on, an axle bolt, which I'm not going to forget to tighten this time, and yeah, let's keep her moving, eh? All right, check out that right there, fresh wheel bearing, perfect. Almost not strong enough to rotate that and the transmission. So this time I'm not gonna forget to tighten this, but you can only tighten it when the brake is on, because you jam a wrench in between, so then you can pry against the caliper, so then you can get it torqued down to proper spec. So hopefully she'll be rocking and rolling shortly. And then taking on the big maiden voyage. So after like literally just driving around the neighborhood, all the way up to Charlevoix for the holiday weekend, to go chill with family. And hopefully no issues, knock on wood, no wood, knock on plastic. But the adventure continues. Even if it breaks down, you know, I'll figure out a way to tow it home, and we will rebuild. We will rebuild. And then pretty soon I have to do finish the stereo. So that came in. Big fan of Sony head units. So let me actually, so I ripped out the whole dash, and it needs a new center console too, because that was kind of cracked apart. Whoops, door keeps wanting to close on me because of the weird angle car's jacked up on. So yeah, so it's gonna get a whole new center console that goes in there. The new radio, so it's a double DIN head unit, so it'll go right in there. It's got like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But other than that, doesn't really need too many interior pieces. Needs one trim piece right back here because that's cracked apart, but I mean, still, it's pretty basic. So hopefully it'll be a decent runner for a little bit. Bam, wheel bearing done. So time for a test ride, and probably gonna go meet up with some friends. Or I could do the radio. I don't know, I'm gonna wash my hands and see how I feel. +1 for the with friends. Yeah, I'll do the radio later, screw that. So hopefully all will go well. We got the truck with the Rick and Morty dash protector thing. So pretty soon this thing is gonna get the motor and transmission yanked out of it. The rear end failed, so she no longer drives, and it's way too rusty to justify putting a bunch of money and new parts into it when it's already, you know, kind of cheese grater. So hopefully I can find either another truck, like a Tahoe or something like that, or shoot, even like a little BMW 3 or 5 series to dump the motor and trans into, to kind of make a fun, you know, quick project. So that will obviously be, oops, looks like I need a mirror. Whoa. Whatever. It'd be something, you know, to keep me busy for a little bit. But we shall see. We shall see. Things I love: electronics and eating. So I'm killing dinner and doing some soldering. This is for the radio. So kind of crude, but just did it at the table. My basic soldering iron to install this bad boy. So it should be pretty easy to go through in the cart. Radio is done. Well, kind of. It's enough to get by. Pardon all the other interior, that's all taken apart. That I gotta get a new piece. Let's make sure we're in neutral. Clutch in. Just give it a second. No, we want that. And voila. Bam. Look at that. Sick. All right, now off to friends. Let's go.